What does transformation healing meaning to you? What challenging that empowered you to transform who you are today? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Transformation Healing Podcast. I'm your host, a certified transformation healing coach, a spiritual teacher. In the past years, I have traveled worldwide to learn and teaching how healing that transform our lives. Healing is not about to fix broken people. Healing is about to restore the consciousness, awareness, and experience of the whole who you are. In this podcast show, I have invited my guests come from all over the world to come here, share their inspiration stories, wisdom, and knowledge with all of you, that you can implement all of these tools into your daily life. Let's take our healing a part of ourselves to transform our lives on the deep level. Today, I'm so excited to invite my special guest. This guest, I've been knowing her for over almost 10 years. I want to say she helped me grow my business in tremendous part. Kristy Roger knows that how like to feel through that only thing matter is produce results. For years, she is took productivity. She is take this to the extremely and paid off for the financially. Kristy is my guest today. She was the top salesperson in the Nation Network Group for 8 years in a row, and she also brought her what is exactly what she need is the connections she developed into spiritual and learning how to improve her relationship and her mindset. That from that wisdom, freedom, and fulfillment, she found where the power she shares them with the world through the business friends philosopher. Business friends philosopher. Welcome to our podcast, Kristy. I'm so excited. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and how fun our journey has been over the past 10 years.
Thank you. Yes. So I remember we was disconnected for a few years. I was traveling. Now, but you always in my mind, always in my heart. Every time I still see your email come out once a while, then I would say, oh, I need to connect to Kristy to see how is this years go by, how way life is shift.
Yeah, we both were on spiritual journeys at the same time, so it worked out beautifully.
That's so cool. So Kristy, tell me a little bit. So what does the healing, the transform healing meaning to you? Like you said, you was a top the business woman leader in the Silicon Valley. I was with you, then go through that road also. But now you transform also into the spiritual journey. So how is that shift? What made that shift?
So it really was a journey inside and learning to connect with myself, learning to connect with spirit, God, source energy. I use all three terms interchangeably. But really, because I had all of this, outward success, and yet I still felt so alone and disconnected, and I really have longed my whole life to feel connected. And so for me, transformational healing is all about going inward, learning about myself, connecting to myself, and connecting to source, so then I can better connect to others.
So we all go through sometimes, no matter what we have people around us or we are alone. I think the loneliness sometimes is not about who around you. It's about the relationship with your own self, with your own feelings, with your heart or spirit. Can you tell a little bit about that part, Kristy?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was what I realized, it was my thoughts, my feelings, my beliefs were all in what I call, survival mode. And so they're really negative. And so because of that, it was a dark place inward, right? And so I've really had to learn. And so then, of course, all I can see is that in the world. And so as I've become more positive and happy and know myself, then I feel more connected and I can own who I am. I can work on changing my thoughts, work on changing my feelings, work on changing my beliefs. So that to me is where true empowerment is taking responsibility for how I want to feel. And I was tired of feeling yucky about myself, about life, and just feeling so alone and lonely.
Thank you for sharing, Kristy. Many of us, I think, have the fear to come out to share the vulnerability. But in your networking group, I remember that almost 10 years ago, we did 2 big events in my spa. In that networking group, I feel this is not just business. This is like a home, the home with a bunch of sisters. So you can share not just your business challenge, help each other. Also, you can share your vulnerability with some people in that group. Can you share a little bit about what does business friends philosopher and how do you start to create this?
So yeah, great. This has been like my life's journey, really. How it came to be is I started studying partnership and how to be in partnership with a significant other. And that's through Allison Armstrong's work. And as I was studying it, I realized, it's not just, those distinctions aren't just in your primary relationship there, they happen in business as well. And so my journey has been, how can I learn this and then teach it to other business women so that they can be empowered in their business interactions? Because we do and say things that we sabotage ourselves and not even realize it. And it's just from just from not knowing and understanding that there are 2 modes in the way people relate, right? We're trying to either produce a result or we're trying to connect. And they're on the same spectrum, but they're at odds with each other. And so learning how to partner them. So what's been great is as I've gone inward, I'm asking for guidance and direction on how to bring this to business women. And, the name, Business Friends Philosophy, that has been a little bit of a painful journey, but it's been a journey to get to. And so it's really me partnering myself with Source to create and help educate business women with the same information.
I love what you just said. You connect with the source.
Yes.
That's help another woman to connect with not just business part, also with the true self. That's how they connect with your true self. Then you running business probably will be much easier. Often we wear so many hats. Now we wear so many times with a mask. So wearing the mask sometimes too long last who we truly want. Sometimes we set up the goal, then as when we keep running towards the goal in the road, have the bump road, then sometimes we get lost. Then in that way, how do we can connect, come back to the source, like you said, to the source, to yourself, So in you, the networking in the philosophy you create, help the woman, is how can you share a little bit more deeper how that can, what type of woman need to be there and what that can help them?
So the biggest thing is to really know yourself. So I have know what your preferences are, know what your needs are. And some people, and I was one of them, I was pretty disconnected from a lot of that. And so it's all about self-acceptance, right? And the more that I own what I love, what makes me happy, what do I prefer, what do I like, and also what do I not like, right? It's understanding both sides so that way I can bring more of the stuff that I prefer and that I like into my life. So a perfect example is I love red and white polka dot. And so I have all my plates and cups and stuff are all red and white polka dot. And every time I pull them out to use them, I am so happy. So it's little things like that, just knowing and understanding what you like and prefer. So you bring more. So it brings in these moments of happiness. So that's one piece. And then the connection to source or God is, for me, it's been study and really learning what is living a spiritual life. And there's so many paths out there to learn it. And the two big ones for me, so the Allison Armstrong work, as I mentioned, the partnership. The second is Wallace D. Wattles' work, the science of getting rich, the science of being well, the science of being great. I studied those extensively. And then the other is to really bring in my spiritual practice is Abraham Hicks and, their approach to law of attraction.
I love when I was in the group, I love the part is when you ask what I need help with my business and also what I need help with my personal. I went to so many business networking group. When you go to the networking group, you just ask, okay, what I need help with my business, right? What I can connect with someone, I can give the referral that they can refer to me. But sometimes that doesn't work because you didn't have much personal connection yet. And also in there, you have many people doing same thing what you do. But in your networking group, I think that one uniqueness is what I need help with my personal. That opens the door for the people to connect more deeply. That I really enjoyed. And also another one is at the end of the group, you ask everybody, end of the networking, everybody to share the words. That's about the words, about how do they feeling. So sorry, maybe I'm just shared some little insight of what is your networking group that look like. So I have let you say, what is majority that attract women going to your networking group? It's just women or is men are welcome also?
It's definitely more attractive to women because of honoring connection. So this goes back to what I was sharing. Are we in business mode and we're trying to produce a result, or are we in friend mode and we're trying to connect? So most of business culture is all about produce, right? Just results. Maybe at some point we'll get to connection, maybe not. The way that I have the networking set up is to honor both, that it's lopsided to just have it be produce results. And we're seeing it in corporate culture now. Employees are not wanting to go and just be a machine and a robot in a job. They're wanting more of the emotional connection and fulfillment. And so the networking is honoring both of these modes, right? So we address questions in friend mode, we address questions in business mode. And it's honoring connection. I think one of the biggest things we're missing overall in our culture is the honoring of connection and creating that emotional warmth, that likability, that finding sameness and similarities, like really focusing on creating connection with people. That has been very much dismissed, and we need it to help everybody be their best self, because it's lopsided right now.
Yeah, so I want to know, Kristy, maybe our audience want to know. We say, how do we want to say, let me reclear my questions. Sometimes my questions maybe not running in my mind and come out is different. So how is the spiritual awakening that's relate with our business? What's that to do? How do we compare these two things together with the business? You say at the beginning, we talk about, you and me, we was meet before, we all is more focused on the business part. But after years working with the business, working with all our personal growth, then we towards more spiritual awakening. Then we brought more spiritual part that into our business. Can you share a little bit of that part?
Absolutely. And this is, to me, the power like that so many of us are seeking. It's the real power. It's understanding that in our mindset, we have two mindsets. We're either in survival mindset or we're thriving mindset. And in this survival mindset, it's all about the competition. I gotta win, dominance, that we can't share vulnerability, we can't express weakness, right? It's probably starting to sound a little bit like patriarchy, and because they're very similar. Whereas when we're living in our spiritual life, and I say this up here because it's a graphic that I have, that I've created, and in our spiritual life, it's being connected to source, to be guided with how does source want to express through me to the world, and being in partnership with source and being guided by inspired action to move forward, versus pound the pavement, grind it out, sacrifice physically, sacrifice relationships and family experience, all in the name of produce more results, right? Okay, I did a version of that, and that drove me to chronic fatigue syndrome and not well, and not feeling joy. I didn't enjoy the journey per se, because it was grinded out, versus being connected to source. I love that I ask, that I then allow the answer to come, then I receive the guidance. Now the challenge is, it's also being patient, because it's not, I often get the answers that I want and need, but as far as like, it can require patience, that there's the right timing, all is well, right? So it's working on your beliefs of how the world works. All is well. Things are always working out for me. So I've had to really change my thinking to trust and believe that for today, I have my needs met. Am I where I want to be? No. But knowing that I'm on the path and getting more and more clear on what my path looks like, so that I can just keep following my guidance from source energy. I hope that made sense.
Totally, as I said, Kristy, I really relate of that. As I was growing up in China, and in that time of us, we didn't have the cultures to pursue spiritual awakening. We didn't know what does spiritual awakening. Only thing in our culture is teaching us is you have to work hard to get where you want to be. I think not in my culture, it's even in the American culture. In many cultures in society, they always teaching you have to work hard than to give up everything. So like don't have time for your own self, no relationship, you just work and keep push yourself. If you don't get where you want to be, then you will be start criticizing yourself, say, oh, you just doesn't work hard enough.
Right.
That I think many people will be relate with that part. That made me to become overachiever, then completely destroyed my health. Then I'm keep going, think about started achieving outside achievements, business, house, but never look what is inside my heart, inside what is really make me happy. And completely get lost on that journey. That's how I think I got a panic attack. That's how I started give up everything, then going to discover, pursue more spiritual awakening. That's how I become spiritual teacher now, living the life with more fulfillment. That shorter sense for me is spiritual awakening with the business is when you had the spiritual awakening, you have that in your mind, like you said, the mindset that brought the more deeper connections with who true you are, brought more acceptance, confidence. Probably that also brought more clear vision. How do you move forward with your life? Mm-hmm. Did I said something related with what you said, Kristy?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that is different now is I'm enjoying the journey. So every day is the journey of where I'm going. And I love resting assured with I know that with source energy, what seems impossible becomes possible. Key words: with source, with spirit, with God, whatever you believe in, you can create that. And it's a journey to go from here to there. And I want to enjoy it. I no longer want to sacrifice my relationships and my health all in the name of working hard. No, I want to have a fun life. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy each day. Bigger picture is I want to feel good physically, mentally, and emotionally. That's my really big priority every day. And I know it can be hard because sometimes I wait for my inspired action. And so I might miss someone needing something, and it's like, it's the rub, right? And this approach, I think, it's certainly less dominant. And so we can be annoying to people when we come from this place. But if, for me, all is well, everything has its perfect timing. Again, because I want to enjoy the journey.
I love what you just said. Yeah. I love what you just said, Kristy. So I think for you, for me, for all of us, really come to living in this world, we want to more experience also, like you said, physical, emotionally, mental, the balance, and bring more fulfillment in the life than to accept who we are. Yeah, we make mistake. We are not perfect. Yeah. So we accept that, then we move on. Then we just be more present. I think overall it's be more present to enjoy. So not to worry about what. Yes, work hard. Believe me, work hard is nothing too wrong. Just in your work hard, the space have to bring more the mindset why you work hard, and in the work hard time to be more aware than take a break. It's okay to relax, right? So time passed by so fast, Kristy. You see, it's just almost a few minutes and our podcast. Thank you so much to come here to share your wisdom and share your stories with all of us. Before we leave, can you tell us a little bit about how people can find you and where is you that networking, how people can join you? Sorry, I asked two questions in the same time.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. So with the networking, we have virtual events that are the second Monday of every month, and you can find us on Eventbrite. So if you go to business-friends, I think it's business-friends-eventbrite.com, that will take you to our upcoming events. And then if you want to connect with me, so I'm in the process of getting a website up. So I'm a little bit harder to connect with, but you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Kristy Rogers Connects on LinkedIn, or through Eventbrite. You can even send me an email, or if you want, you can send an email to info@KristyRogersConnects.com. So KristyRogersConnects.com. And I'm working on that website. So remember the whole thing about having a deadline and getting it up? Oh yeah, this is what it looks like. Sorry, I'm not playing hard to get. It's just I want to make sure it's divinely led.
Wow. Yeah. We also have Kristy's information, all the information down below this podcast that you can find there with Kristy. And also I know Kristy is, if you like dark chocolate and you like e-bike, that is Kristy's favorite design. You can always connect with Kristy through that part. That was fun. Thank you, Kristy. Before we leave, do you have any words you want to say to our audience? Any words you want to share?
Just encouragement that you can feel connectable and you can feel more connection in your life. It's go inward, and the answers are inward.
Thank you, everybody. If you have the story that you want to share with the world, and you have some wonderful tips like to share with other people, then you know how to come to find me. Join me with our Transformation Healing podcast. I'm looking forward to see you next time.
Thank you.